Welcome back to another video. For this one, we are going to be talking about Odell Beckham with his contract, his update of what he's asking for. You're seeing on screen right now by Dave Clement. This update is earlier this week. Free agent wide receiver Odell Beckham has still been seeking a contract. They'll pay him about $15 million per year, and it's actually down from what he was previously wanting, which was reportedly $20 million a year. $15 million is still way too high for him. I know he said that he won't play for a $4 million contract, but $15 million is way too much for him still. I get he still has the ability to be a top end wide receiver. Can he be a top 10 receiver anymore? No, he can't. I don't believe that. I believe he can be an amazing wide receiver too for somebody, but he's gonna have to bring that price tag down of what he's seeking. I think $10 million is more reasonable for teams to go after. But again, $15 million for wide receiver too, given his age, his injuries. If we quickly go to his stats, going back to 2021, seeing that he did not play the entire 2022 season, even though there was back and forth of he can come back late into the season and or maybe play in the playoffs, and it just kept getting pushed back as the weeks were going by. So if you go back to 2021, he ended the season with 44 receptions for 537 yards, 5 touchdowns. All 5 touchdowns coming to the Rams once he got traded, and he played pretty solid. Again, 27 receptions for 305 yards, 5 touchdowns in 8 games, and was a big contributor to the playoffs, especially in the Super Bowl when he had off to a great start. Scoring the first touchdown of the game. It looked like he could have been on pace to be Super Bowl MVP possibly, but sadly he tore his ACL in the game, had to leave that, and ultimately his teammate Cooper Kupp ended up being the Super Bowl MVP for that. But even looking past 2021, well, if you're counting 2021, 2020 and 2019 weren't that great of a year. In 2019 he did go over 1,000 yards, 1,035 to be exact, 4 touchdowns. So decent season, but for his standards, it's not what he used to be. It's not the 2016 Odell Beckham when he was on fire, when he was one of the most talked about receivers in the NFL. If you go back to 2014, his Odell catch against the Cowboys put him on social media and put his face everywhere, and he was one of the most popular players in the NFL, if not the most popular player. But since 2016, he hasn't been able to recapture that greatness. 2014, over 1,300 receiving yards, 12 touchdowns. 2015, 1,450 yards, 13 touchdowns. 2016, 1,367 yards, 10 touchdowns. Those first 3 seasons were unbelievable. But after that, it's not that great. So after that, let's see, 5 seasons afterwards, he's only had 2 1,000-yard seasons. In 2017, he had a season-ending injury. He only played 4 games. He had 302 receptions for 3 touchdowns. Great start for 4 games. It was amazing. Sadly, it was lost to injury. 2018, my bad. He came back. He had just over 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Coming off an ACL, not too bad, but that would be his last year as a Giant. Then he gets shipped to Cleveland, and for whatever reason, it did not work out there. 2019, he did come back with another 1,000-yard season, but again, for 2019, 2018, just barely being over 1,000 yards. So he had 1,035 yards, 4 touchdowns. After that was not good ever since. 2020, he had another season-ending injury, left him with only 319 yards, 3 touchdowns. And we know the rest for Cleveland. That just didn't work out for the rest. His last season, halfway through, playing only 6 games, and then for the Rams, really turned his season around, but ultimately ended in injury in the Super Bowl. So then 2022 misses the whole season, and now we are where we are now. Him trying to seek a big contract. Again, I just think $15 million is way too big, way too much for him. But regardless, I do have my top 5 teams that I do have for Odell. Starting with number 1, the Jets. The Jets are just right now reports to be the favorites to land him, and him having big interest in going to the Jets with potentially, we'll see when it happens with Aaron Rodgers, whenever that deal gets done. So I put him at number 1. Number 2, I have the New England Patriots because I think they are capable of going after a guy like that. They were trying to go after Hopkins. I still think to some degree, they are. But I think Odell would be a nice second backup option if they can't get Hopkins, to get Mac Jones or whoever's going to be the quarterback there, because there's already another story for another video, but controversy with Mac Jones if he's going to be the starter or not. Number 3, Kansas City, again, was rumored even going to the Super Bowl week if they could sign him. I think he'd be a nice option for Mahomes. Number 4, the Buffalo Bills, great option across from Stephon Diggs, a great number 2 receiver if he can recapture what he was for the Rams. I think that'd be an amazing option. And number 5, I have Baltimore Ravens, where he'll be the number 1 receiver. I guess he'll also be the number 1 receiver, you could argue, in Kansas City and New England. But no doubt he would be the bona fide one, because there's not really any other receiver other great receiver in Baltimore. But I think that'd be a great option for this year, at least, if Lamar Jackson has to be forced to stay in Baltimore. But I think it'd be a great wide receiver option for him. With that being said, guys, I'll make a quick video on my thoughts on the whole Odell situation. Do I just sum it up once again? Do I think he's worth $15 million? Absolutely not. I still think that's ridiculous for him asking that. I think that $10 million range is a fair option for both sides, still getting a good amount of money per year for Odell, and also a little bit more of a friendly deal for the team. Not throwing out $15-20 million for, again, a guy who's getting up there in age and has had injury problems and concerns moving forward. Let me know your thoughts down below on the whole Odell situation. If you do think he'll get the $15 million, or if not, how much he'll get, and also what team will sign him. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.